Pixels glow and screens alike. Dorks unite, we'll take this mic. Game on, heroes side by side. In this world we laugh, we ride. Roll the dice and cast the spell. Tell your tales we know so well. Quests await where dorks prevail. In our voices legends swell. Press start, dorks embark. Lights out, we ignite the spark. Gaming nerds will never fade. In the land where dreams are made.
That was dope. What the hell is that?
That's the intro, brother.
That's the intro.
Oh, wow. Who made that?
AI.
Oh, okay. You know how it's coming
You
together.
just can't. Don't hide it.
Oh, there's no point in fucking. The only reason we kept it, because like everybody here apparently is against AI, is because it sounds just like his voice. So we kind of just said fuck it and kept the intro.
Oh, wow. No, I was here for it. I don't know nothing about no AI, so that sounded dope to me.
Yeah.
See, this is why I like this. Okay, so everybody, welcome to the Dorks Podcast. Nerfy will be here when Nerfy gets here. You know, she has her own little schedule going. But I'm Dan. Y'all know that. This is Toko, and we have a special guest. And this kind of just popped out of nowhere, to be honest with you. I was sitting at work, tired as fuck, looking up stuff about Dragon's Dogma, because, you know, I love that game. And I just stumbled across a channel called No Scottish Birds. So, ladies and gentlemen, his first time on the show, hopefully it won't be his last time, because I really like his vibe. Literally met him, 10 minutes ago? Welcome,
that.
Dean or Bird, wherever you want to be called. Welcome to the show.
No matter to me. Hello, thank you for having me. That's all I got to say, I think. I don't really know. But
No, it's all good. I wouldn't know how to answer that either.
So,
nah, this is super cool. I mean, this is like a cool vibe you guys got going on.
it's just vibe, whatever, just give a fuck.
Yeah.
So we didn't have a topic at first, but I was looking up shit about Dragon's Dogma, and Koopa, Toko, have you ever played Dragon's Dogma? Know anything about it?
No, I've never played Dragon's Dogma before. I'm
You
interested in.
are a fucking hussy, a whore.
Yeah, I had a lot of
What?
respect for you before.
And now it's gone.
Yeah, it's just gone.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll fuck off then. Bye.
No, you can stay because I... Oh, okay, well, okay. Oh, dude, we have sound effects. Oh, this is like high
My
budget.
soundboard's bad.
No,
Mine's
it's about a
better.
whore. He's a better soundboard than me. I use Streamlabs.
You definitely can't leave. You gotta stay for the soundboard.
I mean, I could spam the soundboard, but I'm pretty sure everybody would hate me.
Yeah, I think I might agree with that one.
So Dragon's Dogma is what some people will call it is Capcom's Skyrim clone or killer, but it's not. It's not really.
It's quite different.
It's its own entity. And if you've ever played the first Dragon's Dogma, the story was beautiful. And you know what, Dean, you're here. Let's tell the audience what Dragon's Dogma, the story is, if you can give it like a synopsis.
Yeah, I'll try. The first game is sort of where my expertise lies. I'm trying to get to another second. Okay, bet. You did say Dragon's Dogma and not
Yes.
2. The Dragon's Dogma 1 is a really cool game. Most of what I like about it has to do with things that pertain to its story. But essentially, it's your sort of like classic hero adventure where you have this Zero who gets found out by the big villain. They give him powers, and then essentially it's this quest, or it comes off as this low quest to fight the dragon and reclaim your heart. But you kind of discover that it's the world is a lot deeper than that. Quite literally, it's infinite worlds, and you have to sort of come to terms with what the story is all about, and it sort of presents itself as this great choice between personal greed. There's a train going off in the background. I'm sorry if you hear that.
Sure,
but,
good, brother.
It comes off as this great choice between who am I and what do I want, and do I...
Train. Must have been a train. Sorry.
That sounded more of an air horn, so no.
No, it's all right. But yeah, I mean that's kind of I don't know how to like. We can go into more detail.
Well,
But
I
the
don't want to
synopsis is
spoil it.
dope.
I don't want to spoil it, but I think that's definitely a good way to put it. And when the first thing you'll notice if you ever play the first Dragon's Dogma is the scale
I'm
of the
sorry.
bosses. Like if you look at that dragon, whenever you first start the game, he's massive and he
Hmm.
talks to you and he's articulate in the way he speaks to you.
Yeah,
It's
this weight.
yeah, very that was a perfect word. There's a lot of weight in that because it's he literally takes your beating heart out of your chest, and the quest is basically to get your heart back. But there's so much more to it as far as like there's a greed aspect and the choices you want to make. What's going on, Chayton? Um, so when I played that game, what also drew it to me, and we're talking about like mechanic level. I'm a big Dark Souls fan. I loved Elden Ring. I love the Soulsborne stuff. Um, but when you fight these eloquent bosses in a game like those, you're basically slashing at their feet. Would you all agree with that?
Yeah, 100%.
Like, yeah.
Dragon's Dogma, I'm climbing on the back of a fucking chimera, attacking the goat's head while trying to dodge the serpent, trying to bite me, the serpent's ass that it has. It's just a well put together game. Capcom does not get enough credit for it. And so I fell in love with that title. Um, it's not a multiplayer game. Some people bitch about that, but I'm like that kind of that adds to the charm of it.
See,
And
I
go ahead.
always say like, who cares if it's not a multiplayer? Like, if it's a game that you want to play by yourself, then go right the fuck ahead. Like,
Yeah, I have to agree. I think a lot of people focus on that. Where if you only play multiplayer games, that's completely okay. But you kind of like you can't really assert yourself into a different genre. Like the game only exists because it was designed around being a single player game. That's sort of what it is. It was never going to be what it wasn't, I guess.
yeah, exactly. Like, not everything needs to be a multiplayer game. Like, it doesn't need to be like Fallout. It doesn't need to be Elder Scrolls with Elder Scrolls Online and all that. Like, if it's meant to be just strictly a single player game, just let it be what it is.
For real.
Well, and speaking of which, so I watch Mr. Matty Plays a lot. Like he's one of my go-to guys when it comes to like Bethesda news stuff like that. And so Bethesda and them and Microsoft have been talking about Fallout 3 remake coming out because it's
Okay.
only cadence to the fact that Oblivion remake came out and it looked beautiful. Let's call it what it is. Beautiful, beautiful
It's
looking game.
well, yeah, it's a good looking game, but holy fuck, does it chug on my PC?
Yeah, I
Like,
had performance issues as well.
yeah, and it makes me just question: should I buy a new graphics card now? But I don't want to either.
Yeah, I think that there's like a big thing I have with AAA games specifically, and this is not just I guess maybe just Unreal Engine 5 at this point, but
Yeah.
where games are sort of like trying to they have this balance, or I felt like they used to have this balance. Like if you look at Morrowind, right? Morrowind is today not a very impressive game, but when it came out, people were like, "Oh yeah, this game looks all right," you know.
Hmm.
But it balanced having this super deep and intricate world, which is a lot of dev time to make. But nowadays you have games like with Skyrim, where it's like, okay, the game looks pretty good for its day. It's not, impressive or whatever, but it's good. But now the world's so much more shallow because of that. So it's like this dev time. So it's like, yeah, the game looks great, but if it doesn't run great, not only do I not get the benefit of it looking great, but now I also don't get the benefit of the increased dev time to make the game more deep in its systems. And that's something that I don't really know how I feel about, but probably don't feel great about.
Yeah. No.
Well, something you discussed in your Dragon's Dogma 2, like basically you coming to terms and saying, you know what, I do love this story, I do love this game, and I want to get into your actual opinions of that game in a second. Is you talked about mods helping
Hmm.
you to find that FOV that you needed. Yeah. How much has mods extended the life of a game like Skyrim? Right,
Oh,
it's a
yeah.
completely new game.
Exponentially.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, even today, like, I was literally getting footage for my new video like last night, and I had to stop and get a new mod or get a mod installed because it's just like a game. It's a mod that I feel like is essential to this game. It's a mouse tweaks, not it's not like super big or nothing like that. But it's like a game like Skyrim is constantly relied on mods throughout its sort of life cycle, and it's nice that they've sort of leaned into that. But at the same time, it's sort of unfortunate to see that where it's like mods are are as much as part of Skyrim as just what they've developed, I guess.
But I mean, it's a double-edged sword. Like I love a modern. Her name is Eleonora. I love her
Oh yeah,
clothing
yeah.
mods. Yeah, Eleonora is amazing as far as like her Skyrim stuff
Mm-hmm.
and her Fallout stuff. But to give her almost like because there was a time when you could mod all day long, but it didn't do anything. It basically was a hobby. You couldn't get paid for it because you're modding for a game that it's not your game.
Mm-hmm.
But to see people now and to see like people like Bethesda and Todd Howard going, you know what? Let's take a step back. Yes, we did create this open world, but it has inspired so many people. I really wish that, like, because I'm more of a console guy. Toka will give me shit about it constantly because yes, I do have
Well,
a
it's
powerful
not just
PC.
me. It's also Nerfy too. Nerfy also gives you shit about you being a console plebe.
Anyway, but like what it comes down to is, I wish that more games were more open to the modding realm. I also play a lot of Ark. Ark Ascended is one of my jams, and the modding level on that has just made it so much more playable of a game. Like I'm less frustrated. I don't want to fucking kill every dinosaur now. Now I feel like there's an attachment because of some of the mods. Dean, let me ask you, as a young guy in the scene playing games and still loving them. Again, I'm almost fucking 40. You're like half my age. Tell me what mods mean to you.
Well, firstly, I think that the way that you said that kind of made me realize I didn't mean to say that it's bad that mods have been such a big part of it. You're right that it's great that so many people can sort of grow to love games or grow to participate in the community with mods. But I think there is a nice balance. Like when devs make such a great, I guess, base game, mods can sort of come in and make it even a better experience. And I don't know a single game that I really play on PC where I don't seek out mods in some sort of way. I think inevitably every game is going to have issues, but also if the game's done right, especially for open world stuff, like every game is going to have potential to grow. Whereas the dev might not have money or a want to continue to develop it, you can have a community and sort of give it more life. And I think that's a beautiful thing, really.
Mm-hmm. I'm even on that same boat too when it comes to games like Left 4 Dead 2. Like the modding community for that game is really, really good. Like I always love the added extra levels that you can add into the game and also making your weapons a lot better and even adding or changing how the characters look as well. That's always the one thing that I absolutely love.
No, it's fucked up because I got Mickey
modding it.
Mouse and Goofy trying to kill me while I'm dressed as a Teletubby. That is just the most terrifying shit I've ever seen in a fucking video game.
Well, first off, I have Shrek throwing DK barrels at me as the tank, and then
It is a horror game, so I guess it works.
Exactly. Like, who would have thunk that that Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life would end up being would be a proper horror game?
Well, no, fuck that, because somebody showed me Samara Morgan from The Ring as the fucking witch, and it was like they did a texture pack on it, so they made it more realistic. They took away like that more cartoony style and made it darker. For fuck's sake, that is horrifying.
I've also made it also exponentially goofier too when the smoker I made it look like Yoshi from Mario because think of it, who doesn't want to get strangled by Yoshi?
I don't.
I don't know if I would. I wouldn't say I would too either. Honestly.
I mean, you may not, but I find it absolutely just hilarious to have.
So, I've known you for like 3 minutes, and I know one of your deepest kinks. That's kind of
So back to what we were talking about. So Dean, I want to ask you something. I don't know if you picked up on this. I feel like you might have. You seem like a pretty articulate guy.
Oh.
Dragon's Dogma kind of fleshed something out for me, and it just hit me while we were talking. You can literally beat that game in like 3 hours. If you
you could do it quicker if you're good.
I know I'm not great. So, what do you think about that? But because I put it almost 60 hours on my first playthrough, and that's because I took my time doing side quests. I don't know if I've ever seen a game do that where you can beat the game like that, simple, or you can take your time and be immersed in this expansive fucking world.
I mean, I've definitely seen games do stuff like that, but in its specific category, like there's not a whole lot. Maybe like you could say like the recent games of Baldur's Gate 3, Witcher 3, and stuff like that. But then I think in some ways, in maybe like an uber modern sense, it maybe kind of originates with Skyrim. Not to say that Skyrim was the first game to ever do it, but it's the first game to ever present it in a way, in a sort of modern lens that allows that sort of thing. Where, as you say with Dragon's Dogma, yeah, I put countless hours into Dragon's Dogma before I first beat it. I mean, most of my time was spent, just exploring to see. If we're talking about the second one, like I was just walking around to see, like, oh, how much like is this like the first one? And for the first one, like my entire experience with that game coming up was like I would play the demo and run around it where you couldn't beat the game. So it's like, yeah, I mean, I don't think it's the first game to ever
Except
do it,
for
but
like
it
the
does it
Sphinx.
well.
Fuck this fucking Sphinx and having to find the secret token. I'm so pissed off about that shit right now.
I thought the Sphinx was really well done.
I think the Sphinx is beautiful. I love the Sphinx itself, but that
Yeah.
fucking quest of having to go find my first secret token, and
Yeah.
I'm thinking, oh, well, if I go to New Game Plus, I'll be all right. Nope. Fuck you. Still got to go. Man,
I thought that, honestly, of the Sphinx quests, I thought that a lot of them were just like a bit like, oh, that's the answer? Okay. But I thought the first one, or the secret token one, was like, oh, wow, this is actually like quite challenging. It's like, oh, yeah, your time in world matters. So I thought that was a pretty cool one. All the other
if I
ones
can't remember what the fuck what I got, then I'm kind of
Hey, that's
pissed
on
off.
you. The Sphinx is meant to test your your mental dexterity, brother. You gotta keep up.
Ugh, now I got to go find a fucking thing of where, what was it? One of those, and I don't want to, but I'm to a point now where I'm like, now I got to go find a fucking map where all these stupid secret tokens
Yeah,
are.
that's exactly what I had to do. But then it just took me like 5 tries to find the one I ended up getting first. So
I'm hoping that it takes that because I literally use the trickster stuff so now I can hear everything. So I'm like, okay, we'll see what's up.
yeah, that's another point about Dragon's Dogma, like the vocations and like their choice to get rid of like the Mystic Knight from the first game and then bring in like the trickster. That was a really cool change. I still kind of wish, and this is probably a big thing with Dragon's Dogma 1, Dragon's Dogma 2, is like there's a lot of stuff in Dragon's Dogma 1 I wish they hadn't got rid of, but they would have just like ported over just cause.
So I'm going to ask you this, and Cooper, you can answer this too. But one of the things in your video that really got me, and I'm a big proponent on this because you're right, was how they did the microtransactions for the fucking metamorphosis. That bugged the shit out of me. Now you seem very passionate about it. Go ahead and give me your side on that, and tell me what you thought.
I mean, this is how I feel today. Is that if your microtransactions don't impede me in my entire path through your game, I don't care. Like we can talk about like the morals of it and like we have to make a stand, and I'm down for that, brother. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just not the type of person to be out here picketing for microtransactions. But if you get in my way, okay, now we have an issue. I'm sort of like a selfish person. And then I just Pong. Like the first game of all time had a reset button. Why have you taken it out in 2024 or whatever? Like what's wrong with you? And all to sell a $3 book. I don't know. I feel very passionately when you get in the middle of playing the game. That's I think my bottom line, which it very much did.
And,
a lot
and
of
cosmetics don't mean shit, man. I understand it. I'm all about that. As long as your microtransactions aren't like making it where I can fucking beast the game in one. I mean, I think what was a port crystal was one of the microtransactions, but that metamorphosis book, which to give you an understanding, Cooper, the metamorphosis book allows you to change the look of your pawn, which is your partner, or your main character, and it just they put it up behind a $3 paywall, which again you can buy them in game. Like there's a guy you have to spend rune crystals, which are fucking necessity for getting stuff, but. Yeah, it was. I think it was a poor choice, and I think that was Capcom. I really don't think that was developers.
Yeah, it's mostly having to do with the publishers doing. Like if it's more or less 100% going to be Capcom doing that. Just like how Activision does their microtransactions.
Don't get me started with Activision and all that bullshit. I'm not a fucking Call of Duty weeb.
Did you end up watching, or did you ever watch the Punk Duck video that I referenced?
Like I said, I literally found your video last night. This is a first time ever. I reached out to somebody and was like, dude, I've got to have you on the show. We literally do a show in fucking like a couple hours. I'm just glad you woke up.
Yeah, me too, I guess. But the Punk Duck video is a super interesting thing because I mean, as I said, like it was the catalyst, I guess, for sort of setting off the neuron activation that helped me sort of realize where I was at in life at the moment. But he doesn't exactly present the same closing statements that I do. But one of the things he does kind of bring up is this concept that the game, in a way, was sort of meant to spite Capcom. And you can definitely see that. But just like the way they like present the second game, the end game, and I think that it's kind of a cool point, and I don't disagree with it. But you know, I don't know how to say this. It kind of in the like. Somebody will present you like a whole piece of a pie. You're like, oh wow, what a pie. That's a nice looking thing. But what you really want out of the pie is like, you know, I kind of just like strawberries, so I'll just take those instead. You know, it's like, okay, you've given me your art, and I've become inspired by that, but not by all of the art. I just sort of taken a piece of it, and I'm like, this is what I want to talk about, or this is how I feel about this after having experienced your art or whatever. So that's sort of how the video was. But it's a super interesting video if you get a chance to watch it.
Absolutely.
Very well produced.
I'm gonna definitely check that out. Like I said, I'm always looking for something new and interesting, especially when I'm. So, well, the way I get into stuff, like I'll obsess over a fucking game. Like Ark was a big one. Dogma's. I barely touched Elder Scrolls Oblivion remake because I've been so much into Dragon's Dogma 2. But I'm not a guy who can play multiple games at once. I like to have my focus on, especially because I'm working 40 to 60 hour weeks.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
But I like to have my focus on that. Like you said that you were playing the game and you had to back away, and you said it was months on end that you just didn't play it. Mm-hmm. So I understood that it was because of you basically blaming the sins of the father on the child, right? But when you finally sat down after you watched that Punk Duck video, what was the turning point? What made you go, you know what? I was going to make a video about how this shit game is shitty, and I had to go and change my mind.
You know, maybe I'll give you like a gooey, like your sappy side story. I mean, I always really wanted to like the game, even when I was trying to convince myself otherwise or whatever. Like, the thing that made me go back and watch the video was just that I wanted to fact check myself. I just wanted to make sure that I had all the key points in the story and that I wasn't just like completely obviously missing something because I was just next level hating. And then it was just more the way that he sold it. And I was like, hold on, this actually he's kind of spitting. So I went back and looked at it. I'm like, no, this is exactly what I was wanting. I'm not gonna lie, I've lost my train of thought.
It's fucking. I don't know what time it is there where you're at. I'm in Texas. It's 9:30.
I'm in Texas as well.
What?
Yeah,
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I don't want to dox myself, but I'll say that I'm northeasterly.
I'm in the DFW.
All right.
Yep.
That's what's up. I'm not going to comment if I'm close or not.
You're good, man.
I don't want to get bombed out. You know.
No,
I have some opinions on Iraq. No.
Okay, good.
Jesus.
To be
you never
fair,
know around here, man.
So to be fair, I'm a conservative. Nerfy is a super liberal, and Koopa's from Canada, so he doesn't give a fuck.
Oh,
so
okay.
I just don't care.
So her and I will get into a whole on social debates about stupidity, but it doesn't. Trust me, nothing bothers. It's whatever. We're
That's
a very
all right.
eclectic group.
Yeah. What was your question?
So what made you come back and decide that hey,
Right,
you know what?
Right. Thank you. What made me come back was, I mean, as I said, I always wanted to like the game, and I was sort of focusing on points of minutia, and it was very important to me that I didn't include these points of minutia for the most part in the video. That's why I don't really talk about the very specifics of like, oh yeah, the armor system is whatever, or this or that. I just sort of talk about like, okay, I had an issue with the performance and the FOV stuff, and then some like microtransaction stuff, but everything that wasn't important to my actual like points, I guess the points of minutia, I didn't talk about. So I just sort of realized that what I was focusing on was things that weren't really what I cared about. And I could care about them if I wanted to, and I did for a while. But eventually I just sort of realized, there's a quote from Danny Sexbanger.
Oh, shit.
Uh-oh. I thought that was my end. Everybody just died. Oh, no.
You there?
Yeah, hello, I'm here.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh, before you say anything, did you just say Danny Sexbang?
Danny Sexbang, yeah, he's a...
I know exactly.
Okay.
Did you just... So he's going to be a recurring guest, Koopa. Toko. Mm-hmm. This guy, this Dean, this Birdman is going to be a recurring guest.
Yeah, this is nepotism.
Keep going.
Yeah, but he made a quote one time. I don't remember what playthrough. You know, they have so many, but he was talking about he sort of was talking about the concept of people arguing about things, and he sort of said something like, why don't we all take a step back and realize we don't care about this as much as we think that we do.
Absolutely.
and I think that's a beautiful quote, and I kind of quote it a lot. But that's sort of just the concept. I was just hating on stuff that really had no. I wanted to like this game's story, but was talking about stuff like, oh, the armor system is bad or something.
So I'm going to go back and I want to talk about a game that has, I think, revolutionized storytelling in video games. I think it was the one of the first to do and really harp on this concept of your choices matter, and that would be Mass Effect. I think all of us here have played the Mass Effect series. Coco, you played it?
I've not played the Mass Effect
You're a
series.
dirty whore, Dean. I liked you for a while there.
Hey,
Damn
just
it.
remember, I've
All
never
my
played
goodwill.
Mass Effect either, so
Well, hold on now, casual. I have played Mass Effect 2 when it was free on GOG. I just played it for like 10 minutes, so I'll count it though.
So the idea that I thought was beautiful is that your choices mattered. You could be a fem ship, you could be regular ship, whatever it is.
Oh hell yeah!
And you could everything that you did in the first game legitimately, for the most part, carried over into the second, and then ultimately carried over into the third, which I thought was a beautiful concept. And the way that we were able to carry it into a next gen game from being the previous gen. Now, the third game is notorious for having a bad ending. It left a sore, bitter taste in people's mouths, and people just hated it, and it was a whole thing. But I also fault it for being the precursor to people thinking that if we bitch enough, they'll do what we want. Okay. I don't like that. All right. Artists have a creative design, and it's like if you were to tell me, if I painted the Picasso. If I painted the Mona Lisa, if I painted the Mona Lisa,
right?
and you didn't like the Mona Lisa because her tits weren't a certain size or her nose wasn't a certain art, I need to go back and repaint the Mona Lisa. Well, my philosophy is, and I say it all the time, eat a dick, because you're not going to tell me how my artistic vision should be. And I think that it had not so much EA, but maybe BioWare said, in a nicer way to these fans, eat a dick. This was our vision. If you don't like it, we don't need to go back and change all this stuff for you. Then we wouldn't be in a position now where we have games that, if you don't want the game, then just don't. If you weren't happy with the game, then don't fucking drop your money next time they put out a product. That's how you show these developers you didn't like their shit. You don't get a fucking Indiegogo or some shit and fucking start a whole fucking petition. That's fucking.
Did they do that?
They started a whole fucking petition, so BioWare had to scramble and make a alternate ending that was a little more catered to the fucking fan base.
Oh, that's wow. I didn't know the lore. This is interesting.
So
That's like next level. I don't want to say what's a good word. I don't want to say incel, but like what's the incel equivalent?
So
of being a
I'm
gamer?
not very politically correct. I'll just say retarded. It was fucking stupid. And
Yeah,
I
we
was
can
like,
say that.
Yeah,
A bunch of R words. No, a bunch of retards. I love the word R word.
We're gonna corrupt this young boy.
No, I mean I speak the man's English or whatever.
Queen's English up in this
Yeah,
motherfucker.
there you go. But no, I like saying the word R word because it's funny.
Yeah, no, I can dig it.
Yeah, not like I'll say retard too, but like the R word specifically, it's like especially in Texas, people look at you like, "What? Hold on now, queer? What are you talking about, County?" And then you have a whole conversation about that. It's pretty funny.
So there was another controversy that came out. Same company, ironically. Dragon Age 4. What you feel about Dogma, the way you conveyed it, is how I feel about the Dragon Age series. I literally have a tattoo of fucking Morgan on my arm
That's dope.
because she meant so much to me as a character and the arc that you spent with her in the first game.
I actually hate her as a character, but that's
You
dope.
son of a bitch.
No, I like her as a character. Hold on, I say she's written beautifully, but she's kind of like Kano from the College of Winterhold questline in Skyrim.
She's
where it's like,
fun.
yeah, she's an asshole, and I don't like that because I like to be treated like a king. But she's beautifully written.
Okay, then you can go do the Liliana run because like
No,
you have
fuck
to earn it.
Liliana.
You have to
Ew.
fucking earn it from Morgan.
I don't want to work for no snatch.
Murphy's gonna eat this boy alive. I just want you to know that.
I'll code shift as soon as she comes in. I'll be a different person entirely. Hello, madam. It's nice to meet you. I actually save puppies. Yeah.
So in playing that game, I fell in love with the characters, all of them. And the second one, I wasn't as that. What a fucking depressing story the second one is. Jesus, like fucking, it sucks to be Hawk, man. Fucking
Yeah.
just fucking, and then for your fucking Frankenstein mama, no spoilers, but for fuck's sake, that game that's the shits. The third one, they brought it back. I loved it. Fucking that was so. In the third one, I always play as a female character. Shut the fuck up. I'm not a weeboo. Kiss my ass. Fuck y'all.
That's
Anyway,
all right. A little kinky, but I get it.
and then the fourth one comes out. Didn't give two shits about the woke fucking drama about someone being trans. Didn't care. Whatever. I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed that character quite a bit. The Kanari character. What I didn't like is the hard decision they made with the battle system, which was trash.
Oh yes.
I did because it's not a fucking action game. It's an RPG at its core. I didn't like the fact that I built this time with these characters, and what you were given in the previous games is if you bust your ass and do everything possible, you can save everyone. Yeah, you can't do that in fucking 4. And the only satisfying thing for me was because I've beaten all 4 games was the last 15 minutes, and had you romance Solus in the third game, that 15 minutes that you get with him and the Inquisitor.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That was the only saving grace. The game, I can't play it a second time. I've beaten it. I did it. It was a fucking fetch quest for most of it. I thought some of the locales were beautiful. I thought the fighting system with the fucking rogue I enjoyed the blade wielding rogue, but other than that, I felt no desire to go back because they made conscious decisions to woke the shit out of this, and they ruined it. They ruined the fucking game, and so I don't have faith in the future of Dragon Age because of one title. Looked beautiful. Some people didn't like the change in art style. I thought it looked gorgeous, but
that's a kind of a interesting take. I think I did play the Veilguard. First off, I thought it was going to be called the Dreadwolf or Dreadwolf.
Yes, we were waiting for the Dreadwolf. Yes,
and then it was called that for like 3 seconds, and then when it dropped, it was the Veilguard for some reason, and I was immensely confused. But I think that title shift is actually kind of very synonymous, or it's a bit of a joining of ideas of why I don't actually like the Veilguard, right? So the reason I was looking forward to Dreadwolf at all was because of the Trespasser DLC for Inquisition.
Absolutely, that was
beautiful. And it was all of what Inquisition was. And we had a very interesting position because Dragon Age 1 and 2, as you said, weren't connected really. They were in the same world, and it's this general concept of saving something or somebody.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like Dragon Age 1 goes into Dragon Age 2. No. But for the most part, all we got was Dragon Age 2's DLCs kind of like hint at what Dragon Age Inquisition was going about, but it wasn't intrinsic to the story. My issue with Dreadwolf is sort of in 2 parts. Number 1 was it's a puzzle game, brother. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
It's a puzzle game. Like I played the game for 6 hours. I literally just pulled it up on Steam for 6 hours, and about 1 to 2 hours of those were just in the character creator. But for the rest of it, I was sort of waiting for me to get to the part where the game started, because I was like, oh yeah, it's gonna open up at some point, and then we'll be able to do all these. It don't have to be necessarily open world, but we'll be able to do all the character building. Hell yeah! It never did that, and I looked it up online, and it's 80 hours of puzzle game with pushes and crystals. It's like they took the worst parts of God of War 2018
and fucking pus. There's pus everywhere.
Yeah, pus. I love pus and white sticky liquid busting on me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the gameplay I'm not a big fan of, but the story itself was just a big slap in the dick, because it's like this game was set up as the sequel to Inquisition, and the reason you care about Inquisition is exactly as you said. It's the relationship between the Inquisitor and Solus. The characters you built in the Inquisition matter for Dreadwolf, because that's the story. The story goes, imagine if in Lord of the Rings, Frodo gets the ring from Bilbo Baggins, and he has this big dichotomy about leaving and all this sort of stuff. It takes him 11 years, and he goes on this quest, and at some point he dies in a hole, gets shipped out to sea, and they give the ring to some random other dude. And he's like, you know what, I'll continue on Frodo's quest. It's like, okay, well, that's cool or whatever, but that's not really what I was here for. So
if they would have named it anything but Dragon Age, it would have been a moderately successful game.
It can be a good game, but it can never be a good Dragon Age game. Is how I feel about it.
And don't get me one of the greatest characters I would think have ever been written in any series would be Varric. Varric was so well done. And if you, and not to spoil anything, but you know the surprise.
Oh, you can spoil it, brother. I'm never playing this game.
Yeah,
Fellas, I'm not the only one here. My bad.
yeah. So when you find out what happened to Varric,
Oh no! Something happens to Varric?
yeah, oh yeah. But you knew, you're
No,
not.
I didn't know. Why? How would I know? Why? What are they? He's taking his headphones. I don't say anything more. But Jesus, man, that was like my favorite character.
That pisses me off. That, because he deserves better. He deserved fucking better as a character. And I understand he was supposed to fucking go. He wasn't supposed to make it. He was supposed to make it to 3, and he wasn't supposed to survive 3. I get that, but I don't give a fuck. Varric is such a well done character. He deserved more. Yeah. When you meet the fucking elf, Toko, what the hell are you doing?
I think he's avoiding spoilers.
I'm gonna message him and be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
These idiots are talking about what happens to Varric. I ain't played Veilguard yet. I don't want to get spoiled.
What are you doing? Why'd you take your headphones off?
Because spoilers, that's why.
Are you gonna play Veilguard? Are you gonna play Veilguard?
No.
Oh, then what the fuck?
No, you gotta keep your options open. I respect that. I still to this day avoid God of War Ragnarok, and I'm like, no, I'll go back and play it one day, and I've never done that. So.
Yeah, I started it. I just, because I beat God of War.
I tried playing God of War, haven't finished it, and probably won't.
Yeah, I feel like I like watching God of War, but I don't like playing it so much.
That's how I feel about some Resident Evil games, but
yeah, where it's like your gameplay is sort of like whatever. Like especially God of War 2018, it's just like, hey, you want to move rocks for 6 hours? It's like, okay, I guess I could do that or not,
If I want to play Boulder Simulator, then I'd play Resident Evil 5.
You will not played Hill of Muscles McRedfield.
Hey, I'm not saying that as a bad thing, dude. I'm saying that as a good
thing. He literally said
thing.
That's like where I would go to play it if I wanted to play it.
I literally last night, after messaging him, I reached out to DC Douglas, the guy who plays Wesker's voice. See if I can to see if I could get an interview. I don't know if it's going to go through, but I'm going to try.
The most I know about Resident Evil is from Resident Evil Louisiana and also from Dead by Daylight. Whatever those ones are.
The Resident Evil pack on Dead by Daylight.
What the fuck is Resident Evil Louisiana?
It's the one that takes place in Louisiana.
7. That's what he's referring to.
I don't know the name. I don't know the numbers. Too many. I can't keep track.
Number 7?
Yeah, it's Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
Welcome to the family, son.
Yeah. And everybody was like, he's so scary, but I was like, he just looks like my uncle a little bit.
Yeah, he's an old dusty fuck, dusty bitch. No, but again, that's another game with a crazy. I enjoyed watching that game. I just don't like the first person shit. In that I love Resident Evil was always over the shoulder, and the newer ones. But this one was.
I had an issue with the FOV, but I don't know.
I think the problem with 7 and Village is just the bad FOV. But you can mod Village and 7 to get a better FOV. For that game. I haven't done it. I've played Village in just its bad FOV and beat the game, actually. I kind of wish I could play through it again.
So that's another thing y'all talk about, the FOV. That should be a standard fucking option,
100%.
Shit. For fuck's sakes. Not everybody likes a fucking my camera's up my fucking butt crack fucking screen. I don't need all that shit.
Yeah, I think, especially in the case of Dragon's Dogma 2, I thought that they just had, like, their shit was so hot. Like, they thought that they had made some shit that was like, everybody's going to like this, so we don't even have to give them the option or something. But it's like, I don't care how good you think that you've got your camera set up to be. I should be able to have 1,000 FOV. Like, I can see 6 times around the sun if I wanted to, right? But yeah, I have super big issues with games. Like, I thought it was just like a thing on a console where it's like, oh yeah, console haven't really caught up to it. And they have to make a game from the perspective of like, yeah, you will be able to view from here to here, because if you don't do that, somebody cranks it up, they can see through walls and stuff like that, so it doesn't really work. But I still think like you should make your game around that concept. Like I like it's a really big accessibility issue.
It's a single player game. Who gives a fuck if I can see past the walls?
And plus, it would make the experience a little bit more enjoyable if you can make the FOV a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I really have issues with games that have no FOV stuff. I just don't like if you were watching in the beginning where it's like you can sort of all the cutscenes look weird in the video because my FOV is up and they're not designed around that. So it's like in the very first one with Gogori in Dragon's Dogma 2, if you have your FOV higher than what it's meant to be, you literally see like he's not moving and the flames go 4 feet and your character's like acting super odd and stuff like that, and characters constantly freeze in cutscenes. It's super funny, but it's just like they didn't design the game around having a higher FOV, and I just think that's a bit like you charged me how much money for this and you couldn't give me one single FOV option at least. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But as I said, like I just can't. I get super sick to my stomach and get bad headaches when I have a game that doesn't let me change the FOV.
Yeah, no, I think I've heard about that too. That can actually happen as well, especially if you're somebody who suffers through motion sickness all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that if you cannot make the FOV better, then yeah, it's basically unplayable for anybody who gets motion sickness all the time.
Yeah, so you got that strong gut biome that lets you play whatever game you want. But me personally, yeah, I'm a weak, soft, pansy liberal, and I can't handle milk, unpasteurized milk or whatever. So I'm gonna need my FOV options, please, thank you. And I'll pay you $10 more if that's what you want, but I need it.
That was a country of shit. I'll pay you $10 if that's what you want.
Well, I can't speak how I speak, man.
No, not here.
Man, this is what happens in Texas, man. They act like everything's better in Texas. We don't care about these damn woke movements. And then you'll say some shit like that. And they'll be like, hey, you are from the country. I know it, boy. And it's like, okay, I'll just not speak out no more.
Boy, Jesus.
Yes, boy.
That went to a dark fucking place.
Yeah, hey, look, I get talked to how I get talked to. I don't like it.
But I will say this: Dragon's Dogma it's a unique game. It's different than anything else I've ever played. As far as like, it takes some risks, and again, if you analyze the story is beautiful. If you take Skyrim, you take a little bit of fucking Dark Souls, you throw it together, you got fucking Dragon's Dogma, and that caters to a lot of different audiences. But I'm curious how y'all feel. I love the fact that it was a new IP, like not a new IP, but it was another title in the series. It was something different. All I'm seeing lately is remake after remake after remake. Do y'all think that's a problem?
Depends. Sometimes it may be a good thing. Sometimes it may be a bad thing. It just depends.
Yeah, I would say it's probably the exact same as just making a regular game. It just depends on the intention and the will of the developer. Like a lot of developers, especially AAA developers, are beholden to publishers, and that detracts from the artistic expression of a video game. But I think that a developer who wants to make a game will make a game that is good regardless if it's a remake or if it's a new IP or a sequel. It doesn't really matter. I think because that's sort of at the heart of what we're all here for. Like, you want to read a book from a good author who has a good idea and can express himself well. You want to play a video game from a guy who has a good idea and can make the video game well. It's the same for everything, but we sort of get bogged down in like this sort of corporatization of any industry in America, or not just America, but I'm American, so I'm talking about it from an American perspective. But you see a lot of remakes that feel like cash grabs, and so you associate remakes with being low effort bullshit. But in reality, if a remake is done like the Oblivion one with like soul to it, it's quite nice. It's not a bad experience at all. Whether or not you want to go play it is a different story. But it's like I'm never going to knock more content heartfelt. That's heartfelt content. I'm going to knock shitty, low budget cash grabs. That's what I would knock. So I don't mind remakes. I don't mind anything like this. I think it would be more of a criticism towards the AAA games industry. If anything, it's like you're trying to market me and not give me content that I would like. It's sort of a issue there, I guess.
Basically, Starfield.
No, see, Starfield's an interesting point because Starfield, you can tell Bethesda was just trying something out, but Bethesda has a sort of I don't want to speak like I'm them or whatever, but I think Bethesda's sort of struggling at a concept of what we want to do and what we can do, because Bethesda have locked themselves into their own engine, the Creation Engine 2 at this point, but I mean, it's the same engine from Morrowind, the Gamebryo back in the day. It's like they're so, and it's a fair argument, but it's like they're so locked into the concept of if we have to change our engine, it's going to take us 20 years to make a game, and that's a fair thing to say. But it's like you have to acknowledge your engine is super limiting. It may allow you to make a game quicker, but it also doesn't allow you to make a good game. And I think Starfield is just sort of an interesting idea built on a poor system. It's sort of how I
Well,
was.
and the thing, if they're going to rely on modders to give life to their games, then rely on these modders to build you better code. And again, some of these fucking change of life things that these mods have done, for fuck's sake, they basically created brand new games. They basically remodeled engines. They have taken Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and put it in the fucking the Fallout 4 engine.
Yeah, Fallout Frontier is my favorite Fallout.
I mean, fuck.
You guys have never heard of Fallout
I
Frontier?
have, because I saw the fucking video with Rag and Bone Man's human. It's because of Fallout Frontier that I found the R&B singer Rag and Bone Man.
Oh, that's what's up. I never knew he had. I didn't know he had a connection to that at all.
He did they used his song as far as the trailer for Fallout.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay, that's super cool.
I got
What is the video?
if I find it, I'll send it to you on the Twitter. I'll let you know.
Bet. I don't know if I'll ever log into this Twitter again, but I'll try and keep up, I guess.
Well, if I'm going to invite you to the back of the stream, just hold on to it for that. So
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'll keep it open or with the notifications on or something. Yeah, I mean that's kind of a cool point, like the discovering artists through games media. Like there was the big thing with Sean James, I think his name is, who did the Guardian song for The Last of Us 2 that Ellie wrote. I discovered him through that, so I think that's pretty cool. There's nothing more to that. I just wanted to say I like Sean James because it makes me feel better than people.
That's a good way of putting it.
I like expressing my opinions not because I want to have interesting debates with people, but just because I like asserting my dominance over individuals. I'm lying.
You've come to the wrong you've come to the right podcast, because that's what Nerfy basically does. She takes her lady balls and puts it on people's foreheads all day long.
Some people are into that. Probably him.
Nerfy's a girl, but she has lady balls.
No, I'm saying Yoshi here.
Well, he did bring it full circle with your kinks.
Hey man, I'm paying attention. I'm locked in.
You're locked in. Yeah.
I think I accidentally cut you off of a point you were establishing. I apologize.
I don't think so. No.
All right.
He has his moments. Well then, but Koopa, like you're a big PC guy. Like,
Dude,
what would your what would your opinion be if you didn't have the ability to have mods?
I mean, I just play them regularly, but it would just be. It depends on if the game is broken from the start, then it would actually make it a little bit unbearable to play.
Well, okay. I'll perfect example. Do you mod Cyberpunk?
No, I actually have never modded Cyberpunk. I played that vanilla and just beaten it vanilla.
Do you think that the mods that they put in Cyberpunk have elevated the life or made it a better game?
I mean, for a lot of people, yeah, I would say, sure, it does do that. But for me personally, I just never really thought about modding Cyberpunk because I think the developers did a pretty good job when it comes to how they did fix the game in the long run after its terrible launch from back in 2020, I believe it was when it first came out.
wow.
That's
Makes you feel old, huh?
No, what makes you feel old is that fucking Oblivion is 20 years old. So
Well, you're with all due respect, you're 40 years old, brother. I mean, you're gonna feel old regardless.
Yeah, that's fucking.
I mean, it makes
it
makes me feel older when I think about songs that came out in the 2000s that actually turned 25.
Oh, don't fucking go there right now. Don't even.
I can give a rendition if you'd like.
I will fight you. You live in Texas. I will find you.
Yeah, that's probably not that hard to do.
So, but no, like I was talking to a guy that well, I'll just say he's a younger me, basically. He's one of the youngins. And I was like, oh my god, Oblivion remake's coming out. Oh my god. He looks at me like, what the fuck's that?
Hey man,
you don't understand what Oblivion
he was what, like 6 when that game came out?
Wasn't even born yet.
Oh my lord! See, like how you can't expect somebody to not know about something they weren't even born
I didn't
for.
even think of
Exactly.
Like
if you never had bread, you don't know what bread is. You know what I'm saying? Well, I guess that's not true to say.
It's just like if I even said the same thing to my little brother too. He's 16, by the way. If I tell him, "Yeah, Oblivion remake came out," he would look at me with the crazy look and be like, "What the fuck is Oblivion?" And
then
I
go
would
back
just
to
look at
playing
him
on
and
his
go like,
fucking phone.
"Oh my
Fuck
god,
that.
you are disowned now."
Yeah, I think Oblivion's kind of an odd game though. Like in its lineage, I guess, if you want to say it dramatically, it's a game that was popularized because of its time frame and not so much because of its
Well,
mechanics and staying power.
they basically took the Morrowind, right? They took Morrowind and just jacked that bitch up to 11 on a new fucking console. And
In
when
its
every
looks, yeah, sure.
yeah, and it was like, what the fuck? This is like. And then Skyrim, I felt like they made it a little more robotic. I still think that Oblivion had better quality of life things. I think
Oh, interesting. That's an interesting take.
Skyrim was good. I love the diversity that fucking Oblivion offered because Oblivion had it felt
Yeah.
like different. Like fuck, you know, if you play Skyrim, oh here's glass armor, oh here's Drake
Yeah.
oh you know with Oblivion. Check this shit out, you know, like what the oh well, look at this, look at this firebrand. Oh, Umbra. Oh, I mean, like it was like what the fuck? This is bitching. Oblivion just had same pick or palette swap, just different glow. It wasn't, you know, things felt different. Like when you saw Humorous Mora in fucking Oblivion, the giant fucking crab Daedric god. Like what the fuck? And yeah, it was just interesting.
Yeah, that's like a Todd Howard concept, right? Like Todd Howard has sort of stated that since he's come on and been the lead and been involved with his development, he's constantly tried to make each game feel like it's its own thing. And this works very well for a couple of different things. I think it works very well for like progressing of, you know, artistics or you know like graphical stuff. I think it works well for that. But I also think it works well in that we can look back on Oblivion and be like, oh yeah, this game has an interesting aesthetic, and if it really appeals to you, then it really appeals to you. But at the same time, I wouldn't want Skyrim to look like Oblivion.
No,
Like,
and to be fair though, it's a different region. You know, you feel that though. You feel the fucking snow area of Skyrim.
Yeah.
You feel these racist ass Nords telling me that I, you know, whatever, fuck those pieces. If you're anything but a fuck, you know, and that's another thing I want to talk about. Experiences in a game, right? I used to play as a Nord. That was all because I'm 6'5", so I kind of
Oh my lord, Jesus!
And
How your knees?
And so when I realized, like, wait, I'm not really a Nord kind of guy. I'm more of an Orc. That's kind of my thing. And I would like my cousin, the way he plays, he completely showed me a different way to play games. So he would make like much like you like in Dragon's Dogma, you would make multiple characters. He would make different races and play differently. So he played as a Khajiit, and he could only carry a knife, and he had to hire bodyguards because he was like a caravaner, which I thought was a very interesting way to play the game.
So you just weren't role playing before, basically.
Yeah, he went fucking. So then I said, you know what? If I was a character, if I had to really break it down, my race would probably be Orc, and so I would play, and I would never sleep in the city. I would always, you know, get passes to strongholds, the Orc strongholds. And I enjoyed that playthrough.
That sounds like a dope idea, by the way.
I always enjoyed playing that way because it was a different experience every time. And you feel that different experience with different races. Like if you're a dark elf in Skyrim, bro, you might as well be a fucking brother in the fucking 60s. 50s.
Oh, you're in the projects out here, bro.
Oh, fuck that, man. You might as well, like, the Nords basically had clan hoods, and they're like, get off my land. Oh, it was horrible while playing as a dark elf in Skyrim at all. And then the high elves, fuck that. They're just dickholes no matter what.
Yeah, orc supremacy is a real thing, and I agree with it. But also, that's like I put my latest video was about me going over like the dichotomy of rebellions and stuff like that. But I framed it from the perspective of the Empire and the Stormcloaks, and it got a lot of comments, politics, I guess. But people, first off, a lot of people I don't think really got what I was talking about, which is a good thing, or in some ways, because it was kind of my point. I kind of framed it in a very specific way to kind of not, kind of have the message be a little bit hidden. But I was also kind of interested to see if people were going to get that or if they were just going to ignore that. And people mainly ignored that. But there are so many people commenting about, like, you know, the Empire this, the Thalmor that, the Stormcloaks this. And I'm just like, brother, I wasn't even talking about this, honestly. But it's it's super nice to see people's opinions on it.
Everybody has an opinion. I think it's wonderful to have that kind of like interaction.
Yeah. And especially when you can sort of sit down and have a debate with somebody about just something random, I wasn't talking about like the specifics. I didn't say like the Nords need to up their milk production or whatever. I was just talking about the concept of rebellions and whatever. But I had like so many interesting debates with people about their specific opinions on certain things. I got called a couple of the names that I wouldn't have preferred to be called, but other than that, it was pretty cool.
No, fucking you're on YouTube. It's what they do. I mean,
Yeah.
shit. Like, dude, I'm a conservative. I get called Uncle Juan, so it's
It's better than Uncle Tom, I guess.
well, it's the same fucking thing. It's like I'm a
Wow.
brown man.
I don't know.
What I did find interesting though is that, like, I as far as the Stormcloaks went, I'm like all for it, man. You want to believe in Talos, bro? Stick it up your ass. Like, good for you. Believe in Talos all you want. But then, oh, we made a treaty, so you can't believe in Talos. Fucking hot. And then, but then again, the Nords aren't innocent because they treat fucking Dark Elves like fucking shit. Like it's all there for you to find, and nobody's truly right, and the only person that came out looking like a true hero in Skyrim was the fucking Dova Bear. That's the only motherfucker.
Dova Bear.
Dova
Oh
Bear.
my lord. The
Yeah.
fucking dun 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 with the ukulele.
He's the greatest fucking character in
my
Skyrim.
lord.
I don't care what
Rest in
anybody
peace,
says.
Dova Bear. He ain't dead, but I ain't seen him in too long.
Yeah, I miss Dova Bear.
Dude, did you ever watch that series, Top 5 Skyrim Mods of the Week? Off of GameSpot, I think it was.
Oh, I think I remembered that dude. That person.
With Cam and
yeah.
Seb.
Yeah, I remember that.
I used to watch them all the time. That was like my
I-
my stuff back in the day, my shit back in the. Oh, I got like a thing on my arm. I don't feel too
I
good.
miss that kind of content.
No, I mean it was definitely of its time. I try to go back and watch it today, and I'm like, you know what? I would never watch this, but I appreciate it for what it was. What is going on here? Oh, okay.
Hero that we deserve.
This is so like 2011. I love it.
Damn right it is. Have you ever seen this, Coco?
Yeah, I'm watching it.
Have you ever seen it?
No, I've never seen it.
Greatest hero in Skyrim history. Motherfucker! What'd you do? He's the hero we deserve. Where's the mod for fucking Dova Bear?
There is some love for Double Bear.
There is. I'm gonna look that shit up.
Yeah, it's great. This is so nostalgic.
That was Dova Bear.
That was Dover Bear.
That was Dova Bear.
What an experience.
that was an experience.
There's like a whole fucking series of it, by the way. If you haven't
Yeah.
seen Dova Bear, go check that shit out.
I feel like that used to be a lot bigger thing on YouTube. Was like the animated episodic stuff
Oh,
like
fuck
that.
yeah. Flash Gets was a fucking thing. Like fucking
Oh,
when
yes,
Guardian, but
that's what it
all.
was. Yeah, well, that was so aw.
Oh.
You know what always annoys me is that in the movie, in the book you can kind of read it and say Ron is definitely just saying this thing wrong, but in the movie Ron is not saying it wrong at all. It's like
No.
it's like Draco that's saying it wrong,
Yeah,
and
they're
Hermione's still being a
assholes.
little, still being a little child.
He's a poor trailer park wizard.
Oh my.
White trash wizard, and he's fucking saying the words wrong. Okay,
Oh, inbred ass Weasleys. What the fuck, man?
you ain't talking particularly correct. There was a slur coming after that one, but I decided not to say it.
Fuck.
I'm lying, but it's all right. I that completely like threw a wrench in whatever the hell we was talking about. But I think we was talking about micro sequels, remakes.
No, we're off and on.
Remakes.
Like I said, we got about a minute left because I have to cut this one short. I have shit to do.
That's all right. I don't remember that.
But like I said, this has been a fucking lovely little conversation, Toko. And fucking Nerfy didn't show up. What the fuck?
I know, right?
You
I was
give her
hoping-
like such an aura, like a lore. She seemed like a very cool,
She's very cool. She's
domineering person.
She is. So like we all have spirit animals. Mine's a panda. His is a turtle, and hers would be a spider.
Oh,
So-
okay.
So we're all
See, I kind of wish it would have been longer because I wanted to do like a fun little fun little video of cursed cooking. 'Cause
Do it.
not now.
We can do it right now.
It's like night. Like we're gonna end it soon, like you said.
But when has that ever stopped you before from doing anything?
I'm not saying anything else because I know you're gonna cut me off.
I'm just saying, what the fuck is cursed cooking?
Cursed cooking is people who cook poorly.
Pixels glow and screens alike. Dorks unite, we'll take this mic. Game on, heroes side by side. In this world we laugh, we ride. Roll the dice and cast the spell. Tell your tales we know so well. Quests await where dorks prevail. In our voices legends swell. Press start, dorks embark. Lights out, we ignite the spark. Gaming nerds will never fade in the land where dreams are made.